Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today I wanted to share my thoughts on costume jewelry from high-end fashion brands, so like Chanel, Hermes, and the like. I also wanted to share my criteria for when I choose to add a piece to my collection, and hope some of these tips are helpful for you in case you're thinking of adding something to your collection. I have an old accessories collection video that I can link up above, but at the end I figured I can just pan through the specific items like the costume jewelry pieces that I have, since there have been some new additions since I filmed that video. But because this isn't focusing too much on the collection, I'll just do a little clip at the end if you're curious to see what I have. But I do have several pieces from Chanel, Dior, and Hermes YSL. Those are the main brands that I currently own some pieces from. So do I think costume jewelry is worth it? The short answer is yes, but I'm very particular on the pieces that I add to my collection and what type of costume jewelry I add. I have a lot of earrings in my costume jewelry collection. A lot of them are from Chanel, and I do have a few pieces from Dior. And I like having earrings as my costume jewelry piece because I have a number of ears pierced. So I have 3 on this side and I have 3 on this one. And I keep 4 of my earrings in almost all the time. So I have these little studs that go in back here, and that's what's there. As you can see, I don't have earrings on today, but like my first hole is up here, and that's the one that I switch out daily, which is why I like to have earrings as costume jewelry, and I don't mind so much that they're not fine jewelry. Like, I do have like diamond studs that I put in here, so because those are the pieces that I keep in my ear almost all the time, that one I care a little bit more to be fine jewelry and to be something that I know can withstand the wear of everyday wear. But for earrings, I like to switch it up, and so I like having the variety of different pieces, and I like it not breaking the bank every time I want to add something to my collection. So I like that it can be more fun or whimsical, and you can really get trendy with those pieces because they're not fine jewelry. So earrings are definitely a jewelry type that I wear a lot, and I know I will drive the cost per wear down. So I don't mind adding more earring pieces to my collection because I know I'll get a lot of wear out of them. The other jewelry type that I have more than one of are actually bracelets, and unlike earrings, I don't wear bracelets all the time. I wear a watch all the time, and I have one bracelet that I wear all the time. But outside of that, bracelets aren't a type of accessory that I gravitate towards every single day. And it's actually because of that that I like to have a handful of costume jewelry pieces rather than fine jewelry pieces, because I like being able to try out different styles without the cost of trying it out being too high. For example, I used to have a Hermes Click Clack H bracelet, the thinnest style. It was gold with black enamel, and at the time I liked having that style, but I realized in a couple of years that I don't work very well with that bangle style. I don't find it too comfortable on my wrist. I also bought it in a size that was too large, so I sold that piece, but now I have more leather bracelets and styles that hug my wrist more. I find those to be more comfortable, but that's something I was able to learn because I was able to add some more like costume jewelry pieces rather than, you know, going straight for, let's say, like a Cartier Love bracelet and realizing that I don't like it. I have one brooch in my collection, and it is a Chanel brooch. I happened upon it in a really classic style that didn't have any rhinestones that would fall out and things like that. So I did add it to my collection, and I am still figuring out whether I actually like that piece of jewelry. So it's another instance where I liked adding that to my collection to be able to try it out without having to spend a fortune on it, because it's not fine jewelry, and just be able to experiment here and there, and feel a lot less pressured if I end up not liking it. I'm not saying any of these pieces are, you know, inexpensive by any means. They do have a cost associated with them, but it's all relative, right? So relatively speaking to fine jewelry, costume jewelry is less expensive, and so I just like having that burden lifted off and being able to experiment more freely with these costume jewelry pieces. So before I get into a couple of jewelry categories that I will not purchase costume jewelry for, I wanted to share my point of view on the wear and tear of some of these items. So Chanel earrings, especially Chanel earrings with a lot of rhinestones in them, are notorious for falling out. That has happened to me, and I do look for some pieces that aren't as, you know, glittery and studded, because I do feel like they might fall out. Having said that, I still like the pieces. I feel like that kind of issue can happen with any kind of costume jewelry. It's just that the price points are higher on these pieces that we would expect them to stay on. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied. They don't hurt my ears. I do have pretty sensitive ears, and I prefer to wear real gold in my earrings. But these costume jewelry pieces don't irritate my ears, unlike sometimes I can get some stuff on like high street brands, and it will irritate really quickly. I do also like getting vintage pieces. I like the heritage that it has, some of the extra character that it has. So I appreciate, you know, the quality that is built into these pieces that can last over the years and can be something that I can add to my collection. So based on my personal preferences of how I like to wear jewelry, I know it is not a good idea for me to add costume jewelry pieces that are necklaces. So I know Chanel comes out with a lot of gorgeous necklaces. Dior had chokers that were coming out that were really cute. But I just will not add those to my collection, because when it comes to necklaces, I prefer to wear them all the time. I wear them for prolonged periods of time, and I really can't be bothered to take them off while I shower. And I know you should, in general, even if it's finer jewelry, even if it's real gold, but that's just my preference. Because I tend to like daintier pieces, I'll keep them on all the time, like this one right here, and you know, I just will forget about it for months on end, and then I'll switch them out occasionally. So because of that, I tend to steer away from necklaces, and I'm not particularly interested in adding them to my collection, because given the cost that it will be, I know I will not be able to drive that cost per wear down, and I know it's not something that I will really want to experiment with or want to incorporate into my daily styling. The other category of costume jewelry that I steer away from are rings. I wash my hands a lot, and I just feel like that constant exposure to water can damage them. Rings are something that I keep on my fingers all the time. Like these two I wear every day. I don't really take them off unless I'm showering. So because of that, I steer away from costume jewelry rings as well, because I don't think I would be able to justify the price. So when I'm contemplating adding a piece to my collection, the first thing it really needs to do is really make my heart sing. Like, there has to be something about it that I really like, or really grabs my attention. I'm not the type of person who really researches a lot to see what's on the market. I tend to know what I want when I see it. So that's really the first item. It's more of like, oh, I see it, I can see myself wearing it, I like it, and I want to add it to my collection. Then the other piece is I give myself a budget. When it comes to costume jewelry, I don't want to be spending like thousands on a piece, on like one piece of earrings, or one pair of earrings, or one bracelet, or things like that. So for earrings, I try to keep them under $500 unless it's an exceptional instance, but so far all of my earrings fall within that budget, or well below that budget, I might add. And even for bracelets, I try to keep them under $500. Like after that Hermes enamel bangle, experience, I realized, like, I don't think it's really worth it for me, given I don't wear bracelets all the time. So I kind of dropped my budget down and I try to keep them all under like $500. I think costume jewelry is great. I think it's a nice way to add some flair and also to diversify your collection. It's also, a lot of times they're also at a price point that's more attainable than, let's say, a handbag. So if you're saving up to get a piece and you know there aren't really any bags that you really want to add to your collection, then I think it's great to start adding some costume jewelry pieces to have a collection from a fashion house that you like. And lastly, when it comes to costume jewelry, I really want to stress that you should get it because you like it and because you want to wear it. I wouldn't consider it to be like an investment piece compared to something like a handbag from Chanel, let's say. The jewelry pieces are just something for you to enjoy, for you to really have, like, basically consume in your lifetime. Maybe be able to pass some of those along to another generation, but I don't really see those as being like heavy investment pieces where you know it's like really going to be worth something later. For something like that, maybe fine jewelry is a better route to go, and if that's really what you're interested in, I would definitely look in that direction. The majority of the items are actually earrings. I have a couple of bracelets and one brooch. Just to do a quick overview of all my costume jewelry pieces, I'm just gonna start from the top. These are called Dior set. These are a pair of earrings that you can wear as one as well, and these I purchased, I want to say, in 2015. This is a classic Chanel brooch from 2016. These are a pair of Dior hoops that I purchased earlier this year, so early 2019. These are, or this is a Saint Laurent knotted leather bracelet I purchased in 2015. These are some vintage Dior clip-ons. These are vintage Chanel clip-ons. This is a simple dog tour bracelet from Hermes I purchased in 2018. These are classic CC studs. You can see there are a few missing in here, but this is from 2014. And these are classic Chanel, these like crystal drop earrings, and these I purchased in 2017. So that's everything. Those are my thoughts on costume jewelry and whether it's worth it. Again, the short answer is yes, but only in certain instances. I think it's personal, and if you think about the jewelry pieces that you like to accessorize with, I think that helps inform how you may want to add some pieces to your collection as well. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you like this video and you like the content that I put out, I do post videos every Sunday. If you'd like to be one of the first to know, then feel free to subscribe. So until next time, bye!